So just this afternoon, I got a message from one of my friends and he said to me, "Bro, I need some advice. I fucked up an interview and I'm really frustrated, sad. So how can I turn this into motivation to grind? I need some advice on productivity and I also need some advice on how failing is part of the process. And I don't know, I feel like I need a pep talk. If you don't know who Pep is, Pep Guardiola is the manager of Man City, to remotivate and focus. And then I just sent him a few more chat messages to, kind of help him and, propose different strategies that he can do to combat this failure. And he just said, no, I just think I can do better. And it feels like, I failed a goal, right? That I feel like is important for me to achieve, to better myself. And his goal was basically to, get into this school of his. And basically, it's a very interesting thing because failure is for sure a part of the progress of, to success. And many people experience failure. And if it's probably also you, you personally also, experience a whole lot of failures, right? No matter if it's small size failures or if it's failures that will completely change your life. And I think it's very important, as I've already told him, to, overcome these failures no matter what happens and really just remotivate yourself. And in this video, I'm just going to suggest a few ways that I've also suggested to my friend of mine, which I think can also help you combat failures whenever you, reach these failures and really think that, life is fucked, right? So basically, one of the key things that you want to do that I've also mentioned to him is you want to set your clear goals, right? So his goal was to get into this dream school of his. And I want you to rethink about that first, right? Is that really your key goal? Is your key goal really to get into this dream school? Like this exact dream school? Or is your key goal to get into this dream school so then you can be set up for, a more successful path in the future, right? Because it's very important to know what your actual goal is, right? And probably your actual goal won't be this defined value, as I already explained in my previous video. If you want to make 50K, if you ask yourself at the end of the day, if I make 40K in 2024, will I still be satisfied even though my goal is making 50K? And you probably say yes. So basically the goal is not the defined value. It is rather, the journey or another outcome that you want to strive for. So goal setting is a very important strategy to, think about, all of your failures. And I'm just gonna rewind some of the stuff that I've talked to him about. All right, so another thing with remotivation and stuff to really get yourself back on track is, basically even without failure, a very important thing is to define your fears, right? Your fear of not doing this thing. If you don't do this thing, what will happen? So saying if you don't submit this assignment, then there will be consequences, right? Your teacher will chase you down, your parents will be notified, and just having this fear instilled in your mind and just remembering it all the time will kind of motivate you to do the work because you don't want to face the consequences of not doing the thing, right? And obviously you can also frame it into another way, which is defining the positive results of what will happen if you do the thing. Which this will include, what positive goals will you receive from this action, and just placing it right in front of you, right? So if you have a desk or something, it's very important if you just just literally just have a picture in front of your goals or your vision board, right? And just being able to look at it and access it all the time when you're working, it will kind of push you to continue working and continue doing whatever you do. And if it doesn't really motivate you, then you should probably rethink about what you're doing, or find some goals that align with what you do. Because every single day when you wake up, right, there must be a purpose. You need a purpose in life to motivate you. And it's really like this you need like an outer purpose, right? And then after you can have like inner layers of purpose. As I read from The Way of the Superior Man, amazing book. But without a purpose, like, what's the point of waking up every single day? Like, you need something to strive for. Like, humans are programmed to be species who needs goals, right? So it's very important to define your goals before doing any sort of work, which would help you overcome any failures, or at least get you a clear mind to know what you actually want to do in life. So another very interesting technique. So if the fear of failure, the positive motivation technique doesn't really work for you. And another really interesting one that I learned most recently from Ali Abdaal's Feel Good Productivity book, which is amazing, which I'll probably do a book review in. And I haven't actually read the entire book yet, as I don't really have much time. So recently just signed a new client, and things are going all over the place with school stuff coming up, competitions and stuff. But anyways, what Ali Abdaal says in his book is to treat life as if it is like a video game, right? Like, of course, if you're watching, you probably have some certain interest, or some certain hype with video games, because you find video games more interesting. You find it fun to play with your friends. You find the hype and stuff like really great, because it's adventurous. But like, what if you were able to implement these aspects from a video game into real life? And you're probably thinking like, Bosco, like, are you a crazy man? And I'm just telling you, I'm not a crazy man, number one. And number two, it's actually possible. But we just have to reshape our way of thinking things, right? So like, there are so many ways of thinking different things. Like, literally, water that I'm drinking right now, you can either think that it's 1/3 the way filled, or you could think it's 2/3 the way empty, right? So like, mastering your mindset is going to be really important. So basically what the technique is basically, there's a few steps in it. So I'm just going to really briefly go through it, as I'm going to probably go through it in another video in more detail. So basically, everyone has different characteristics. So some includes, the explorer, the adventurer, and then you have the director. Let me just go grab the book so I can confirm that this information is correct. Productivity. Highly recommend you to buy this book. You can. If I can just find it. I'll also take a screenshot of the page, so I'll just put it on. So basically, the 8 play personalities, right? Collector, competitor, explorer, creator, storyteller, joker, director, and kinesthetic. So I'm just going to read this like slower. The collector loves to gather and organize, enjoying activities like searching for rare plants or rummaging around in archives or garage sales. The competitor enjoys games and sports and takes pleasure in trying their best and winning. The explorer likes to wander, discover new places and things they've never seen through hiking, road trips, and other adventures. The creator finds joy in making things and can spend hours every day drawing, painting, and making music, gardening, and more. The storyteller has an active imagination and uses their imagination to entertain others. They're drawn to activities like writing, dance, theater, and role-playing games. The joker endeavors to make people laugh and may play by performing stand-up, doing improv, or just pulling a lot of pranks to make you smile. The director likes to plan, organize, and lead others, and can fit into many different roles and activities, from directing stage performances to running a company to working in a political or social advocacy. And the kinesthete, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but the kinesthete finds play in physical activities like acrobatics, gymnastics, and free running. So what Ali is trying to say here is there's basically 8 main types of personality, and what you want to do is you want to find your characteristic, right? Which character do you want to be playing in? So like, one example that I could think of is from I don't know why, but like from Sega, Sonic. So you could play like Sonic, or you could play like Knuckles, Tails, Amy, or like you just basically choose your character, right? Like, who do you want to play as in the game of life? And then what you want to do is basically in every single work, you want to try and reshape things to make it fit your personality and your characteristics, right? So let's just give an example, which Ali mentions here, which is so let's just say if you're like the storyteller, right, that might be entail seeking out ways to turn a boring task into one that draws on your sense of playfulness, right? So finding a way to turn it into a story when you're like writing your copies, or when you're just doing any writing in general, right? You can just, switch that mindset, and then you would find yourself enjoying to do the task more. So another thing would be, what was my other point? I had another point. Oh yeah. So another really good tip is having daily side quests. And you know how in games, like, rather than just the main goal of killing people, you can have daily side quests to, earn experience points, or like earn tokens, or like earn special features in the game. So basically these side quests are basically, adding something that you're curious or that you want to try out in life, which will make your day kind of, feel more happy. So then you can, not only do like the repetitive work, but look forward to them, and just make your day not that repetitive, right? Because if you always think about it, especially when you're a student, you just go into school every single day, kind of taking similar subjects every single day, go home and then do homework, and then you do whatever personal stuff you have to do, and then go sleep, and you repeat this loop. And basically life can be pretty repetitive and pretty boring at times. So a really useful tip would be to add side quests. And here are some examples of mine. So my side quest for today was to walk down. So I'm walking to school, so I'll walk down to the other way to school. So because like there are a few ways to walk down to school, so I was like, why not take another path, right, just for fun. And another side quest is to listen to one podcast of my choice, just when I plug in my earplugs, or like when I'm just walking, or like doing some unnecessary work, just like a low ROI work, just want to plug in my earplugs. And another one is to catch up with one of my friends, which is a daily side quest. So like this would, help make my day, more interesting, rather than, focusing on the main goals of, work, health, and relationship. So yeah, hopefully like, these, you can implement some kind of tips above, and you find them useful in combating your failure. And like, after all, I think it's very important to address that in the process of success, you'll be facing a whole lot of failures. And having proper goals, with good goal setting, and knowing what you want to achieve ultimately will be very important. And just show up every single day, be consistent, be persistent, and the universe will know what you want, right? You clearly write down what you want, and then you do those steps to reach those goals. And then the universe in exchange will give you the things that you want, right? And, sometimes it's always, tempting to just focus on the outcome. But many people, like Ali, is telling us to focus more on the journey, because, the journey is fun, right? Like, outcome is one thing. But, it's all about the journey. It's about the relationships, experiences, right? That shapes us as a person at the end of the day, and really makes us, unique individuals, and really makes life fun living, right? Fun to live, right? So, with your failures, don't have a negative mindset, right? For the long term. Like, obviously you'll be like really pissed for like for maybe like, when the failure happens, you'll be really pissed for like 5 minutes, no, 10 minutes. Okay, that's not realistic, but like a few hours, right? But after that, just move on. Understand that thing is the past. Look into the future. See what you can, pivot. Like, I always like to see your journey as like, you're sailing, right? Like, you're sailing. You don't really know where you're sailing to. And, there are thunderstorms, and there are, different things, different problems that comes along the way. And basically what you want to do is, based on the data that you have around you and based on new information, you sail in those directions, right? And you basically get closer to success each time you switch directions, and eventually you reach it, right? And with those problems, you just have to encounter them, right? And without those problems, like, you won't be successful. Like, there's no one in this whole entire world who doesn't face problems when it comes to success. So yeah, hopefully this video, kind of helped you kind of clear your mind if you have any failures, facing any personal failures. And, I know everyone faces failures. So hopefully, you could implement some of those tips that I mentioned above. And if you found this video useful, or if you actually think that, a friend is facing some kind of failure, I would really recommend you to, share this video, right, to them, as I feel like the main purpose for my channel is to, get other people to, I want to help as many people as I can. And I just want to provide, my insights, all the value that I have, everything that I know from studying so many productivity books, which I'm really interested in it, and just really help people be successful in whatever they want to accomplish. So yeah, if you really want to, you can also subscribe to my channel. Not forcing you to, but if you find this content interesting and valuable. But yeah, and that's basically all I have for this video. And yeah, it's getting pretty late here. I think it's 11 p.m. and still have school tomorrow. So yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for sticking with me till the end. Peace out.